party people, welcome back to my channel. It's Becca and I'm so glad that you're here with me again today. If this is your first time here, what's up? I hope you enjoy hanging out with me today. Don't forget, friends, if you haven't yet, go ahead and subscribe, and if you want to get notified each time there's a new video, you can hit the bell as well. So before we hop into today's podcast, I want to tell y'all about the new challenge that Revelation Wellness is launching. Signups close September 11th. Challenge starts September 14th, and it is a 21-day core focus challenge. And for it's a pick your price. They suggest $10, but if you don't have $10, you can donate $1, okay? And it is tax deductible, so you get to write that off, okay? So they are a 501c3 nonprofit, which means it's good for anybody who's writing off charitable donations for the tax year. Let me tell you what all you get in this 21-day core focus. You get 21 days of devotionals to help you discover the truth of who you are in light of who Christ is at his very core. 21 days of RevWell TV workouts, 21 days of progressive core strengthening education to help you live healthy, whole, and free in your body. Do you know that when you strengthen your core, you can reduce back pain? So hello, if anybody's dealing with back pain, it helps you correct bad posture. Who does not need a little help in that area? It protects you from everyday injuries, improves your balance and stability, which helps us as we get older, and you can strengthen your entire body to function as God designed it. I mean, it's pretty good. It's a pretty good deal right here. You also get 3-week menu plan, including breakfast, lunch, dinners, and snacks. And there are some good recipes that they share, so you want to get in on this goodness. You get access to a private Facebook community group for support, encouragement, accountability, exclusive Facebook Live teachings from their experts, daily progress scriptures, and a calendar to help you keep accountable as you just mark each day off. There's something that happens in your brain. If you have a calendar and you mark each day off, it's just something that happens literally in your brain chemistry. Core assessments to track and celebrate your progress. And you keep all of this content forever. You never lose access. You get a login, you log in, and you get all of that just at your fingertips forever. So good, so good. So go ahead and sign up with me. I'm signed up. You can go ahead and sign up as well. I will leave a link in the show notes for today. So if you have been here for the past few weeks, if you haven't, I'm going to tell you about what I'm talking about. But if you've been here, you've probably noticed that I've been struggling a little bit with my new schedule, as some of my videos have been late. Last week I was on time, and then this week here I am again behind on my schedule. And today, actually yesterday, as I realized I'm going to be late again, and your girl does not like to be late. I don't like it. It stresses me out, and I was feeling overwhelmed. Anybody know what I'm saying? Feeling just overwhelmed. It was creeping up in me, which, let me be real, is super annoying. I don't like to feel overwhelmed. I don't have time for that. And so I figured if I'm dealing with a little bit of overwhelm, somebody else out there might be dealing with it as well. So what is overwhelm? What does that mean? What does it mean to be overwhelmed? So I looked up some different definitions, and to overwhelm is to overpower in thought or feeling, to defeat someone or something by using a lot of force, or to be too much to deal with. Anybody feel that way? Maybe you feel overpowered by your thoughts and your feelings. By all of the things that you have to, overpowered, like a million thoughts, just overwhelmed by these feelings bombarding you. Maybe you feel defeated by all of the things coming at you, all of the things that you're supposed to be doing. Maybe you have a lot of little people in need of your attention and your time. Maybe you have a lot of going on at work, and you have just all of these different things pulling at you. Maybe you feel like what you have to do is just too much to deal with. Like your time frame does not allow enough time in the day to get done what you need to get done. Anybody else feel this way? Right? Surely it's not just me. Surely, it's not just me. And this is normal. Like, overwhelm is something that we are going to experience from time to time, especially in certain seasons. But y'all, this should not be a place that we continually dwell in. This should not be a place that we hang out for long periods of time. And this is why it's so important to pay attention to our feelings, to what's happening in our mental and emotional state, so that when so that overwhelm doesn't overtake us, right? So that we don't miss out on the things that we're supposed to be doing, because overwhelm can wreak havoc in our lives. So I'm going to just read a few things, and as I read them, I want you to take inventory. Are these places where you feel like you are experiencing these symptoms, or you're struggling in certain areas? So this is the way that overwhelm can take place in our lives. This is what it can look like: fatigue, chronic low energy, and exhaustion. And what you think, do I struggle with that? Do I struggle with getting sick more frequently? Not able to relax or recharge? Trouble focusing or completing simple tasks? Withdrawing from family and friends? Tension headaches? Feeling unusually irritated, frustrated, annoyed, or irritated? I said irritated twice, sorry. Maybe you're doubly irritated. Acting like a jerk or emotional outburst? Beating yourself up, just unrelenting in the negative self-talk? Disrupted sleep patterns? And then on the other side of that, wanting to just stay in bed all day, sleep all day, you're just want to hide, right? Avoiding responsibility, putting things off or tuning out, or a lack of focus or motivation. Now, if, as I read those things, you checked off more than one or two on the list, you might be experiencing overwhelm. I am no doctor by any means, and these can be side effects or symptoms of other issues. So if for any reason you are not sure as to what's going on, please go see somebody that knows what they're talking about, okay, with a doctorate. But for me, sometimes these are the ways that overwhelm takes place in my life. And it creeps up sometimes slowly. It's less that I feel all of this at one time, but rather there are moments where I just feel it just kind of sneak up on me, right? Overcome by the weight of the things that I need or want to do, and I feel stuck. I think either I don't have enough time to get all of these things done, or I feel like I'm not capable of getting all of those things done, right? And so here's the problem with those things, is that for the most part, if it's something that I'm committed to and it's something that I do regularly, I have the time, right? I just haven't been intentional about either time management or about dedicating the time to take care of that particular task. Everybody has the same amount of time during the day. We have to decide what we're doing with our time. Now, you're not going to have time to do everything every day. But if it is something that is important to you and something that you want to do or need to do, then let's try to figure out how we can use our time to make those things happen. And so for just like the podcast, honestly, did I have time? Yes, I should have had this done, right? That's on me for not doing it when I had the time. It's because I'm not doing it when I used to be able to do it. I have to rearrange the time, like the time of day that I usually record my podcast. And I have to get used to that. And so trying to rearrange and do things a little differently, I'm having a little bit of a hard time there. So for the most part, if I feel like I don't have time to do it, it's because I'm not being intentional with my time. The second thing is I usually feel like I'm not capable of it, and not feeling capable is not an option. Like, you either try it or you don't. You don't you don't let the thought of being incapable stop you. You have to try it. If it is something that is important to you, if it is something that you have to do, you have to at least give it a try. You have to at least go for it once, right? You don't know if you're capable or not unless you go for it. So go for it, right? And I'm totally preaching to myself. Thinking that you're incapable is not an option. Like, go ahead and mark that off. You don't know if you're capable or not unless you try it. So, and let me just tell y'all that when I get into this place of overwhelm, I feel stuck, feel paralyzed, like I'm not sure what to do. Anybody else? Like, I'm just gonna stay here. I have all these things to do, but I'm gonna sit here and scroll through Facebook, or I don't even know what I do sometimes. It's just, I'm like, I don't know what to do. So I have all these things that I need to get done, and I don't know what to start with. And it all feels daunting, even though it's not daunting if I just were to do one thing. So I'm going to share with you what helps me. These are steps I take personally. These are things that may work for you. They may not. But it might give you some options. It might give you some places to start so that you don't let overwhelm overtake you. All right? So the first thing I do is that when I notice stress and feeling overwhelmed is I start with just breathing. I can do that. I can breathe. And so I'll take big breaths, big belly breaths, like, and I'll hold for 3, 2, 1. And I exhale, sometimes audibly, like, oh, I let it all out, right? There is something in your body when you just control those breaths. You take those big, deep, soothing breaths. I've talked about it before here, the power of your breath. And even breathing and meditation, these are not new age. This is not a new age concept. It's a God-created concept. He created our bodies. He tells us consistently in the Bible about meditation. He talks about it in His Word. These new age people just stole this concept and have used it as their own, but it's counterfeit because Jesus is not at the center of it. So there's that. But God has also given us our breath and created these bodies to function properly. So using your breath to center yourself, centering your mind on the Lord. So we want to that's what I do first. I take a moment, I breathe, I center my heart and mind on Jesus. For some of you, maybe you need to get up and move. Maybe you need to dance. Maybe you just shake it out. For those that don't know, I've been homeschooling. I got my little homeschool set up right here. This is our fish, Marlin. Hey, Marlin, he's so cute. But when he gets overwhelmed with his work, I have him stand up and we shake it out. Blah, blah, blah. And we move and we let it go. We take some deep breaths and he feels better and we get back to it. But something about, right, maybe you need to do some stretches, go for a run, but you need to get those stress fighting endorphins pumping in your body. Okay. So first things first, we want to connect our heart, mind, and body to the Lord. So the second thing is we want to ask God to give us the wisdom and understanding to do the things that we are going to do and to do them well. So we want to pray, God, help me to do what I'm doing for your glory, right? Dedicating our day, our time, everything that we do to him. Colossians tells us that in everything that you do it all for the glory of God. So let's take that literally and mark that off, right? That is everything on our to-do list as we're marking it off as unto the Lord. Hallelujah, right? Everything we're doing. And then the third thing I do is that I make a to-do list. Now, maybe you jot everything down that you have to do. Maybe you categorize it like must-dos, want-to-dos, if I have time to-dos, and start with one thing at a time. One thing at a time. And maybe you start with the most important thing, or maybe you start with the smallest thing so that it's done really quickly and boom, you're on a roll. Like, let's go. And you get it done. And for all of you non-to-do list people, I don't know what to do for you. Okay? I don't know how to help you because I don't understand really, it's even if it's a list in your phone, if you don't write, like maybe you put a list in your phone, maybe you write it down, but I want to encourage you, even if you're not a to-do list person, at least just write it out for just the sake of your brain connection of, okay, this is what I know I have to get done today. There's just, to me, there's that connection that happens when we write it out or we type it out and we see it and then we understand, like your brain begins to organize and make that stuff kind of come to life essentially in what you're going to be doing. So I really like to also make a list the day before and look over what the next day will look like. I function so much better when I know what my next day is going to look like, when I know the night before, and then it just helps me be prepared. I know what's happening. I know what's coming. And I also like to do this at the beginning of the week to see what the week is going to look like and how it's going to play out. And then as I start my day, I check over my list to see what's going to get done. And then also being realistic, like let's not schedule a million things and then think that they're all going to get done. That's not just not how it's going to work. But we tend to be more productive when we write things down. So whatever your jam is, I honestly sometimes write it down and put a note in my phone because I don't always have my binder with me, my planner with me, but I always have my phone with me, right? So beneficial to your ability to be productive and stay the course making a to-do list. We want to be sure also that we stay present. We can get caught up in all the things on our list sometimes, and we're looking to the future. We're looking at, oh my gosh, I still have to do this, this, and this. Do not get ahead of yourself. You need to stay present in the moment. What am I doing right now? So stay focused on right now and don't let what's next stress you out. Be present. Stay focused on right now. And the second thing, part of that is also to set boundaries and a time frame. People outside your home don't necessarily need access to you 24/7. Sometimes you need to get off of social media. Sometimes you need to put your phone on silent and take time to have a time frame set apart where you retreat for rest and recovery, so that you don't get burned out by people. Okay. Don't be afraid to turn your phone off. It is okay. It's okay. Permission granted. All right, friends. This is kind of like 4-part B. So to-do list, and then second part of that is some of us, myself, setting up a schedule is beneficial to me. So I know that this is what my time frame kind of looks like as I go about my day. Like, what do you want your days to look like? What kind of time do you want to dedicate to certain things? How much time do you need set apart for certain things? So setting sometimes even a wake up time and a bedtime, and being really intentional with our time. We have been given a specific amount of time. God is the author of time. He gave us 24 hours in a day. How much of that day do you want to spend doing certain stuff, right? So what happens if you don't get all of your things done? Give yourself grace. Let yourself off the hook a little bit. We are not machines. We are not robots. And sometimes we mess up and we miss things, and that's normal. Honestly. Forgive yourself. Give yourself a break. So that's the first thing. Give yourself a break. Second thing is look at your day. Evaluate your day. Do you need to rearrange? Do you need to reschedule some things? Do you often mismanage your time? Where is your time going? Like, what are things that are stealing your time? Do you need to cut some things out or delegate some tasks to other people? If you are I like the things done my way, like also we need to, for the perfectionist out there, you need to ease up on that a little bit and know that sometimes things are good enough. And sometimes you need other people to help you, even if they don't do it, quote unquote, your way, which is how you prefer things. Maybe the Lord's teaching you some things there. I'm going to leave that there, but allow yourself to, find that place of this is good. And maybe it's not perfect the way I want it to be perfect, but this is good, and I'm going to leave it here. And allow people to help you. Allow people to come alongside you, and delegate some tasks to them. And then don't be afraid to say no to some things, or say, hey, I can't continue in this. Be okay letting some things go off of your schedule. And yeah, don't be afraid to set some things aside for a season. Some seasons are more busy than others, right? We are heading into the fall and the winter, which are busier seasons because of the holidays that are coming up and all of the fun fall festivities. And so you're going to have a busier season coming up, and maybe there are some things that you need to let go for certain seasons. Make a list of what's important and what is less important. See what things you want to keep and what things you want to cut out. And it's okay to not do all of the things. Now, if you're like me and you enjoy doing all of the things, this may be a difficult task, and that's okay. All right, you were made for hard things. And like I said before, look for ways. I didn't say this before, but I said look for time stealers. Look for things that maybe you need to pay attention to, how you maybe have mismanaged your time, but you also want to look for ways where you can be productive in times of waiting or transition. Maybe you are in line to pick your kids up, which I know is not necessarily something that we do that much anymore because of how schools have shifted. But look for ways that maybe you can be more productive in moments where you're waiting or you're in transition. So there. And then the next way that you want to kind of pay attention to how you can do to be more productive during your day is to ask yourself, do you get distracted by your thought process? Now, this is where having your notes app on your phone or having a notebook with you is handy, okay? If you're like me, you can wander into all of the thinking and, oh, I don't need to forget that, or I need to do that. And sometimes it leads me down this rabbit hole of thought, and I don't want to forget that I need to do that, or I might stop what I'm doing to go take care of something else. And really, this is a place where I just need to put a note in my phone that if I have time, I can do that later, or don't forget this. But making notes of things that when your mind starts to wander, just to make a note and you can come back to it. That way your mind doesn't have to stay there. It can stay present in what you're doing, and it can worry about that to-do list at a later time. So those are hopefully some helpful tips to evaluate your day and be less overwhelmed and more productive. Remember that you need time for you. So set some parameters up for that. Maybe getting up early or tuning out in the evenings. Find a schedule that works for you and your family. And maybe it looks a little different on different days, depending on what's on the to-do list that day. But try to find a balance of work and, we have all these different things: work, house stuff, family, friends, me time. And so find a balance, find a good place that works for you, where you feel less overwhelmed and more accomplished and more satisfied with your days. So know that some seasons are busier and than others, and that's okay, right? That's okay. So I hope that this was beneficial to you guys. Thanks for watching today. I appreciate all of you for being here. If you've enjoyed today's podcast, make sure you hit that like button and share with a friend, because sharing is caring. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, you can leave those in the comments below, or you can follow me on Instagram at Becca D. Caldwell and message me there. And that's all I got for you today, folks. I'll see you next week.